Welcome. Today, we will be discussing about trading, but more specifically about data tracking. So, you might have heard from veteran traders or from experienced traders that one way of increasing your profitability is through tracking data. And using this spreadsheet that I have made, I'll be showing you how that is the case. So we have here four tabs and we'll go through it one by one. The first tab here, guide, is just a written version of what I'm gonna be discussing today. So let's proceed to parameters. In this spreadsheet, I have 10 parameters, but for today's example, we'll just be using four. So in the first one, I have here a parameter setup. Second one is a SPY pre-market move, the symbol, pre-market move, and the open price. So setup is the name of the setup, and but for this example, I have from my own personal tracking, I'll be selecting one of my setups, which is the JL curl up or the J lines curl up. This is one of the setups being taught by one of the chat rooms, Daytrader, but I modified it for my personal style. And the next one would be SPY pre-market. So we have here gap up, gap down, and an inside candle. So what this means, if it is gapping up in pre-market, so this is above the previous day's high, and if it's gapping down, it's below the previous day's low, and inside candle is if it is just within the high and the low of the previous candle. And the symbol pre-market, so it can be any stock that you choose, and this is having the same parameters. In the opening price, I have above 1 minute J lines, below 1 minute J lines, and at 1 minute J lines. So J lines is just a moving average, two moving average actually, so it's like a range. And if the opening price first print of the on that day is above 1 minute J lines, so I'll be selecting I'll be selecting above 1 minute J lines, and if it's below that range of MAs, I'll be selecting below, and at if it is within. Next, we proceed with the actual data. And for this example, I have extrapolated a setup of mine, so for easier explanation. So I'll just be pasting this here. For the symbol, we have this. So I mainly trade mid and large cap stocks with liquid options. And for the setup, since we only have one, so let's just use that. Then for the SPY pre-market, we have here and that. For the symbol pre-market, we have this. And then for the opening price, okay, so for parameters 5 to 10, since these are unutilized, we just have to select here NA, and then this is one of the how I program this spreadsheet. So we just need to put it an A if it's not used. Then we proceed with the time in, time out, and the result. Personally, for me, I don't use the time out. So I have only tracked the time in so that I will know statistically what time does this setup show up. And then 1 for winning trade and 0 for a losing trade. Okay, so we have that out of the way. So our data is now set. We can now proceed with the filtering. So in the filter, start date and end date should the same as the one here in our data. So we have November 4 to December 22. You can also play with this. Say you only wanted to select the November data. So it's November 4 to November 30. So for this case, let's proceed with the full on data set. And then as you can see, for those filters that are left blank, those will select all of, say for the symbol, all symbols are considered. And since we only selected the date, this shows us all the trades within that specific date. And if we just only selected November, so you can see 22, it's 72% pin rate with an average time in of about 20 minutes after the open. But let's just select the whole data set. So it's 33 with a lower win rate. Okay, now since we only have this as our setup, it doesn't really matter. Say we wanted to know if we choose the setup and the overall market is gapping up. Okay. We can see that is we can trade 20 times with a win rate of 75%. But say I only choose this setup and while the symbol is gapping up. Oh, now we can see we have a lower number of trades compared to the overall market move of gap up. But we can see here that our win rate increases, which means for this specific case, the specific stock, regardless of what the market does, is having a more influence with respect to this setup. So let's try and use both SPY overall market and the stock gapping up. You can see here we only trade 10 times, but as you can see, the win rate increases. So what this spreadsheet or the data tracking does is you can increase your say your risk tolerance, so you can have twice your risk tolerance if these parameters show up. So if it's gapping up overall market and the stock is gapping up, so you can maybe increase the size you are in if the setup shows up. And then opening price, let's see if it has an effect. If it opens above, what happens? So we only have one trade and it is a loser. If it is a at 1 minute, so we have two with with a 100% win rate, and if it's below, we have seven with a 100% win rate. So we can deduce from here that these 10 trades include the opening price above the 1 minute trade line. So um, we can select, now we can further select our setup as only if it opens at or below the 1 minute J lines, we will then trade that setup. So you can actually play around here. Say, let's see our stats for the November. So you can see we have 9 trades and an 89% win rate. If we remove this, we have 12 trades. Oh, that's a very nice win rate. But if the stock is, say, gapping up without the regardless of what the specific stock is doing, I mean the overall market is gapping up with the specific stock is doing, we have a 16 trades, total 16 trades with 75% win rate. So you can play around with this, and even here you can say you have two setups, so you can also still put setup here and then say J lines tip, and you can, this can have two filters for the specific for setups then. So for today, that's all, and I hope you liked it and you got anything informative from it. If you like this video, please uh, click the like button and put in the comments what versions of this you want to see. And you can also message me for customized spreadsheet works. That's all. Thanks.